What's up, guys? Before I jump into it, want to let you know that we'll be live this evening over on my Twitch channel, grabbing some gameplay for future videos, and also on that road to 10,000 followers over there as well. So if you'd like to come hang out, stop by and say, hey, whatever it is, links in the description below. But anyways, back to the regular scheduled content. The mystery in Verdansk runs deeper, and in a rather cool unraveling, it will continue to run deeper as time progresses throughout Season 4, perhaps even more so into Season 5. But today I want to talk to you about what we know, the new intel missions that were added under the radar as of yesterday, their implications for what the story is doing in Warzone and Modern Warfare as a whole, since Warzone is just an extension of this, and as well what we could be seeing in the future as a result. So today, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of these new intel missions? Are you going for them actively, or just having a good time watching it unfold from a distance, or perhaps maybe none of the above? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know. But as well, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare and Warzone on a daily basis, especially as we work out what's going on in the world of Verdansk. So with that said, let's jump into it. So for starters, let's talk about what's new. With Season 4, we saw the introduction of new intel missions, areas of challenges where you had to go into matches and collect the data and intel to progress the back-end story for Warzone and Modern Warfare as a whole. Now, you don't have to do it, but if you're a story nerd like me, you're intrigued, so if you choose to accept, you went on a sort of wild goose chase that initially doesn't seem to give much more than simple XP, and honestly won't for a while. It seems like it's going to be a long payoff here, something you do, and in the long run, you learn more and you unlock more as we go along, though with each passing introduction, the XP that you get immediately will keep going up, and you'll also be more so likely ranked up further, so when it comes down to it, XP will quickly become pointless. But anyways, the first week we ended up seeing a kind of setup of the basis of the information of Verdansk, of the basic storyline in the world that we had at our feet. If you knew of the basic premise coming out of the campaign and then Spec Ops, you kind of had the majority of the information figured out, and this was kind of a refresher in some regards, though presenting some new information. But our newest introduction is what we got a little bit more information out of, and where we can see this lead to the future of not only the playable world in Warzone, but also the narrative that goes on behind the scenes. So that said, if you want to take part in collecting the intel, it's important to note three things. Firstly, you need to complete the first pass through on them, so that means finding the first 7 introduced intel locations within Season 4's update, and then you can progress on into the newer ones that were just introduced as of yesterday, and then the same thing going on in the future as well. Secondly, you can only collect one piece of intel at a time, meaning that you have to back out and start a new match every single time you collect a piece of intel, which is kind of annoying, but the upside to this is that you don't have to complete the match that you find the intel in, so you can go in, get the prompt from Ghost after collecting it, and then just back out and re-queue to start that process all over again and get that done as soon as possible. But also, the final thing to note is that if you do this and you still can't pick up the first step of intel in the newest introductions, you're not alone. It's bugged for a lot of people right now, myself included, to which the footage you're actually seeing of these locations is from my good friend Zach or Immortal, who actually got it from our friend Lazy's account because his was also bugged. So if you can't get this, it's nothing wrong on your end. All we can really do is hope the progress, tracking, and prompting is fixed in a relatively quick fashion. But anyways, let's start out with the first ones real quick as a sort of refresher so that you know where you're looking if you haven't taken part in any of this just yet. Week 1's locations included the TV station broadcast desk. Then the next one was over at the terminal console near the broken passenger plane of airport. Then we ended up seeing the next one following that was in the ATC upper observatory tower on the south-facing wall of phones and consoles. After that, the next one was found in the downed airplane outside the military base compound. The one after that was located in the lower tin of Arklov military base on the work desk with a laptop sitting on top of it. And the final one you could find was on the desk in the upper tin trailer across from the radio tower in Arklov military base. Those ones I really wouldn't expect to have much resistance if you still have to do those, since they're sort of old news, if you will. But the newer ones introduced this week, you may have some company with when looking for those. But to those ones, the locations of these can be found firstly in the upper observatory deck in the pool in between Storagetown and Boneyard. There's a filing cabinet up there that has a coin denoted as intel on it that you can pick up. That's your first location. The second one is near the larger L of the airport on the tarmac side, where you can find a desk in the trailer near tents. Here, there's a few files in folders next to a laptop. That's the intel that you can interact with and then collect. The third one is in Bunker 3 out on the west side beyond Boneyard, where you can go down and look at the table next to the bunker. On this, you'll be able to find a laptop, and from here you can collect that intel needed for the next step. And then funnily enough, the next intel piece is actually at the exact same location in the exact same laptop, but this time you need what's described as a solid perk to hack into it, this being Spotter. So equip Spotter on and jump in, head back into the same location, collect another piece of intel, and you should be good to go. If you go back and attempt this without Spotter, you'll just end up getting an error sound, so make sure you have that equipped. The next piece after that is located on a whiteboard in the building next to Broadcast in downtown. If you go into the room and see a conglomeration of chairs in a circle as if an AA meeting, that's the room. Once there, just approach the whiteboard and you should be able to have the option to collect that intel. And the final piece of the puzzle is to find intel based off of post-it note that says 1930 Express, to which you can head over to the train station and from there approach the status board of all the trains incoming and outgoing. This one, while elevated up in the air, will give you the prompt to collect the intel just as you walk by it or underneath it once you get close, so you don't have to do any crazy parkour or anything or special to get it. But that will complete your new introduction here for the intel items, and that will give you the full scope of the story up until now. And that's where we shift now to talking about the world of Verdansk, the storyline, and what this means for then the future of the game mode of Warzone, and also what we see as of the world around us. Now, when it comes down to the storyline side of things, we know of that shift in power in Verdansk and how it was walled off from the rest of the world. We know that from the campaign and Spec Ops, but building upon the Season 4 information, we saw that the initial teaser for Season 4, SIGINT, or Signals Intelligence, intercepted a call between Khaled Al-Assad and Viktor Zakayev in which they were talking about Price coming, among other things. But while trying to carry out their plans, they also wanted to, in some way, get away, whether that be from Price or those catching on that they were sowing the seeds of distrust within Armistice, which is that coming together of Coalition and Allegiance forces that we knew of in the campaign to stop Al-Qatala and then this partnership with the Zakayev family, but they were trying to get away from it. They were trying to escape it all. To which in the intel, we actually see that Al-Assad was meant to be going back to Urzikstan, which is why we see Urzikstan in the tablet on the Season 4 intro, and that was something that caused a little bit of a commotion whenever that first happened. But while I think it's possible we could see a new map of Urzikstan at some point, I also don't think that it will be something of any time soon, or at least in Season 4 like some people theorized. But instead, it's just another tie-in with that storyline put in front of us with absolutely no context. So, of course, when that happens, there's rightfully a lot of speculation and theory that goes along with that. But we ended up seeing all of that from the campaign and Spec Ops, but with the storyline being progressed through these intel missions, we learn a little bit about the prequel of all of this, what happened within Verdansk whenever it first got walled off, to which all the citizens and all the peoples of Verdansk were told to evacuate, to which they were then going to be flown out of the city at the airport, to which that doesn't go as intended. Instead, planes are shot down outgoing of Verdansk, and that's why we see over by the military base, there is that downed plane. We also then, though, getting more so into the more up-to-date information, see that Zakayev and Al-Assad are still meeting, though, like we mentioned, Al-Assad is then told he can go back to Urzikstan. But the thing is, with the new intel, we know that he was going to be on that 1930 Express that, if you translate the board, is canceled. So he's still somewhere in Verdansk, and that's something that will likely be expanded upon within the next set of intel missions that come out of Season 4, and then maybe even further on into the future. But what does that mean then for the playable version of Warzone? We can talk about story all day, but some people don't really care too much about story, and that's totally fine, but does this have any implications on the world of Warzone that we actually interact with on a match-to-match basis? Well, while there's nothing really concrete that says yes or no, I got this really strange feeling that maybe we actually see the introduction of this and a couple of other trains that are mentioned in the playable realm of Warzone. Now, hear me out. This might sound crazy, but when we consider that with Season 4, we got entire new areas of the Warzone map, including new train tracks that were not previously a part of the map, and also some different locations like by the Hills and Hospital, an entire tunnel system that goes through that geo, and then again also by the locks of Port, there's another one there. So these were added in consciously. It's not something they're gonna alter the map just for that story's sake. So what if when the next intel missions come out, we see maybe something happening where a train is actually added in, and that's actually something that is accessible in-game. And I bring this up now because, curiously enough, we saw the second piece of intel missions were added in week 3, or the second week after the launch of Modern Warfare's 4th season. If we're going on a bi-weekly basis, that next bi-weekly introduction would lead us right into the exact midpoint of Season 4. And that's also when, while not confirmed, we're likely to see the mid-season update for Modern Warfare, which is going to be another title update, adding in all sorts of weapon balancing, new map for MP, a new weapon likely, and who's to say that that also doesn't include a train system. So this may also be progressing the storyline, yes, but it also may be hinting at what is to come in the playable aspect of the Warzone world. And that's something that I'm incredibly excited for, and I can definitely get behind. So with that said, I think that's everything here that we can wrap up and talk about with the intel missions that was added in as of yesterday under the radar, but I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this here? Do you think we're going to see a train introduced within Warzone? Do you think it's going to be something that maybe just progresses the back end storyline of things? Or maybe we're right on this theory. It's kind of wild, I know, but I think it's a possibility. Anyways, though, love to get your thoughts and feedback. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel, so if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But with that out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.